Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Lakrishia Cook, but you can call me Dr. Lala. Welcome to another episode of the Revolve podcast where grief and loss are a journey and not a final destination. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, I would like to talk about how we can start to see our memories as gifts, right? I know. Because a lot of times when we're grieving someone and we think of our memories, most of the time, especially in the beginning, they come with sadness, they come with sorrow, right? But I want us to begin to see them as a gift and as a part of our inheritance. Yeah. Because the life your loved ones lived is a part of their legacy. And because it's a part of their legacy, it's a part of yours, right? And those memories can give you moments of joy as well. As sad as you may be in the moment, just someone sharing a story with you of a loved one can make all the difference in your day, right? I remember when my dad died, we were actually preparing for his funeral, and there was a young lady who came by the house, and she's actually someone I hadn't seen in years. But she shared with me how she had seen my daddy years before, right? And he gave her a hug, and all he said to her was, "Baby, you are so much more than you've become." And she said that her interaction with him that day changed her life. And I'll be honest with you, um, in the moment, it may open up a little bit of grief. It may have, but at the same time, there was this sense of gratitude and love because I was like, yeah, that sounds like daddy, you know? Yeah. And those types of moments started to shape how I think of memories, right? And not so much as a place that hurts, but again, as a part of my legacy, right? And there were so many other stories about how daddy and mommy had impacted people. I had this one lady stop me at a pizza place, and I had never seen her before. And she walked up to me and she said, "Do you know Elder Cook?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm his oldest girl." And she shared with me how she had just happened to meet daddy in the hospital. Her husband had had a massive stroke. And she said daddy told her that something had drawn him to her. And she shared with him what was going on. She said daddy turned right back around, went back into the hospital with her up to the ICU, and prayed for her husband. And her husband is alive and well even today, right? Those types of stories, it's like light in a dark place, right? Because a lot of time when we're grieving, all we see is the darkness. But these stories bring light. I had a young man reach out to me via social media about mommy. And he told me, he said that he was a part of mommy's prayer circle. And I was like, prayer circle? Because that was one I didn't know about. But he was a part of her prayer circle. And he said that she spoke with him and prayed with him regularly, and that few people knew about their relationship, right? But these stories showed me that their love and who they were have ripple effects in ways that I never even imagined, right? The lives they lived are part of my legacy, right? These memories are part of my inheritance. When other people remember the love and the care, and the goodness of the people that we miss, right? It's a living legacy. And it's ours to steward and pass forward. I can't tell you the joy it gives me to share these stories with my daughter, to tell her the things that other people share with me about the Nani and the B-Day, right? Because mommy's been gone 5 years, daddy's been gone 10. And I still encounter people today who make a point to tell me, I miss your parents. I still encounter people who share with me the impact they had on their lives, right? And so it's important to remember these things and to be able to pass them on, right? Proverbs 10:7 tells us that memory of the righteous is a blessing. Psalms calls testimonies heritage, right? And that's language I've chosen to take on, right? So that I'm able to share what's beautiful and true outside of the pain that I still experience sometimes, because I wish my parents were here. I miss them. And so instead of focusing on how much I miss them, I think on their legacy, right? The things that other people share with me, the stories that we've heard, the things that my daughter remembers. And when it comes to my dad, she doesn't have a whole lot of memories because she had just turned 4 when daddy passed away. But she still has my memories with mommy. And so I encourage her to journal those so that she doesn't forget. Right? Because she's also a keeper of their story. She's also a part of their legacy. Right? And it's okay to miss them. It's okay to find ways to stay connected to them. I know for myself, I have 2 blankets that I had knitted. And they're each done in mommy's favorite colors and daddy's favorite colors. The one I miss daddy, his is green and white. And I spray it with his favorite cologne. And with mommy, hers is purple and turquoise. And I spray it with her perfume. And sometimes I'll just wrap myself in their blankets. It's just like getting a hug from them. And no, I'm not delusional. I know I'm not getting a literal hug from them. But it's a space where I can have comfort. And to think on those wonderful memories that I have with both of them. The conversations that I had with daddy leading up to his passing. The time that baby and I spent with mommy before she passed. How sassy she was that morning when she left the house. You know? And the thing about our scent, right? Scent and touch. They're able to reach places that our words aren't able to. Because our bodies remember. And those things allow us to go back to that space of presence. Right? Because sometimes I just need a hug. And just being able to smell her perfume, to be able to smell daddy's cologne, it helps. And needing a hug sometimes doesn't make you crazy. It makes you human, right? Because I'll be honest with you, during the holidays, I really miss my parents. This was our favorite time of the year. When we were children, one of the things we used to do is load up in the car, Back then, there were three of us. And they would load us up in the car. Mommy would give each one of us a cup of hot chocolate. And we would literally ride around the neighborhoods looking at Christmas lights. That's what we did. And before Daddy died, they had the opportunity to do that with our babies a time or two. You know? And so it's those memories sometimes that come with an ache. And that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that there's an ache there. But it's also okay to be able to smile through your tears. That's okay too. And it's okay to alter those traditions and make them something for yourself. That's okay too. It's okay to have those moments where you hear yourself and it's like, that is something Mommy would say. You hear yourself and you say, that's something Daddy would say. Right? That's just the evidence that the people that you loved were here, right? They leave a part of themselves here with us. And sometimes it's just in the little things. And it's okay to be thankful for the little things. Because it's easy to get consumed and get lost during the holiday season. So even the little things are helpful. Something else that's helpful during the holidays is having a good relationship with your therapist. This is a space where you can learn what your capacity is and how to prepare for when those triggers come. It's a steady container for those waves of emotions that will eventually come. It's a place where you can learn to set boundaries and to make manageable tasks during the holiday season. Because it can be a challenge. And that's okay, right? And needing therapy in this season doesn't mean you don't have faith anymore. That doesn't mean that you don't believe anymore. Therapy is something you add to your faith, right? It's where you get tools. Tools where you can learn to regulate your emotions, right? Where you can work out narratives to figure out just how you're going to navigate your new normal. Because for some folks, this is the first holiday you've had without mom or dad. Or maybe it's one of your children, right? Learning how to do those things allows you to carry their legacy, right? Without being consumed by the pain. Right? And the thing about our faith is that, it doesn't make the grief go away. And I can't stress enough how important it is to realize that being a believer doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't exempt you from grieving, right? But what our faith can do is help us to carry those memories differently, right? It can give us the language that we need when we need to cry out to the Lord, but also the language of hope. Prayer is an ongoing conversation with the Father, right? So that you don't have to walk this journey alone. The Father is with you, even in this. He's there, right? It doesn't erase the ache, right? But it does give us a container to hold hope and sorrow, right? Because sometimes we do both. Two things can be true, right? And that's okay. Again, that doesn't make you crazy. It makes you human, right? So I encourage you to think on these memories and find ways to implement the things that brought you joy back into your life. Don't allow grief to steal your joy and the memories that we have of loved ones. And I know it's hard. I know it is. But I encourage you to share those happy thoughts. Share them with your family. Soak it in when you meet people and they share stories about your loved ones, right? Because again, these memories are part of their legacy and a part of yours, right? You know, and these are things that I'm thinking about myself, right? Because I haven't made $1 million pound cake since my daddy passed away. I haven't. But I'm thinking I will this year. Right? It was one of his favorites. Right? So incorporating those things back into my life. Right? Because those are happy memories. And we love the holidays. He looked forward to me making that list of the desserts. Right? And so we don't have to let grief take those things from us. And I allowed grief to take that cake because, again, I hadn't made one since my daddy died. And this is something I've given thought just since coming here for the podcast. I said I hadn't made that cake since daddy died. Right? Memories are an inheritance. They're part of our legacy, right? And I invite you to carry on your loved one's legacy. Let their lives be a part of your inheritance, right? Even if it's just one thing at a time. You don't have to do everything all at once. Sometimes we have to take life in moments, and that's okay. Because again, grief is the proof that you've loved someone. And it's okay if you have those memories that bring sadness. But it's also okay to allow those memories to bring you joy, especially during the holiday season. And so until next time, keep choosing healing, keep choosing joy. I love y'all. Bye.